place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning and welcome to Youth Wednesdays on the Tobago Updates Morning Show. You're viewing us here live in Portmore, Scarborough, Tobago. My name is Dwayne, one of your favorite youth hosts, and we are here yet again at another Youth Wednesdays to bring you the youthful vibe, youthful vigor on all things Tobago. And a special good morning to all our ardent viewers, wherever you're viewing us, whether it be on digital, AMPLIA, Flow, YouTube, Facebook. We just want to wish you a special good morning and thank you for supporting us. This morning, I'm ably supported by my other favorite youth host, Miss Jolie St. John.
Good morning, Dwayne, and good morning, viewers.
How are you this morning?
I'm doing well.
All right. So guys, as per usual, we have a lot of great things in store for you. How was your week so far? Just coming off of Easter, and so on. School. We'll talk about that after. But how was your week so far? How are you spending Easter?
My Easter was more or less filled with schoolwork. I didn't have much outings or excitement, but time for that would come soon.
Did you go to Bopo?
No, I didn't.
Oh my. I passed through. I really couldn't stay because I just couldn't handle the crowd. But again, I just wish that, more be done to accommodate the growing patrons. Every year. And I think during the week last week we saw some unfortunate news about a young lady, Angelica, dying as a consequence of being struck by a jet ski. What was most interesting and unfortunate to me is that the perpetrator fled and didn't show any care or anything like that. And to me that does not speak to the essence of Tobago, and it's unfortunate. And I just want to say a special condolences to the family. It's not easy to come on vacation and having to lose your child, but from us on Youth Wednesdays and the Tobago Updates morning show, we want to express our heartfelt condolences. It's quite unfortunate. But guys, we have a lot more in store for you with news in 90 seconds with Miss St. John.
Authorities are continuing their probe into the alleged assault of Tobago Regional Health Authority employee Kevon Lewis by soldiers following a vehicle collision in West Tobago back in February. This, according to Defense Minister Wayne Sturge when questioned in the Senate. While specific details regarding the suspects remain under wraps, Opposition Senator Melanie Rajman followed up on this probe at yesterday's Senate sitting. Unity of the People leader Nkosi Phillips is firing back at the THA, claiming the fatal jet ski accident at Pigeon Points could have been avoided. Phillips states they submitted a comprehensive tourism project, the TTYWR Buku Tourism Project, multiple times to the Division of Tourism. The proposal allegedly included specific training, licensing, and safety measures for jet ski operators that Phillips believes would have prevented the lawlessness that led to 7-year-old Angelica Jogi's death. Finally, residents near the Adventure housing development in Plymouth can breathe easier. The Division of Housing and Public Utilities claims that the recent discharge at the Plymouth Water Treatment Facility has been resolved. It's reported that a technical team successfully replaced a faulty pump and stabilized the wet well. While the system is currently stable, officials are planning long-term infrastructure upgrades to address recurring challenges at the site. That was your news in 90 seconds. Join us again at 6:30 p.m. for our full newscast.
All right. Thank you so much, Miss St. John, for a news in 90 seconds. Again, we want to, give a special shout out to all our ardent viewers. It's always a pleasure to be here and give to you our best here at Youth Wednesdays, and I'm ably joined by Miss St. John this morning. We're going to go straight over to our birthdays, right? Our birthdays this morning. Alright, good morning to Mr. Edison Thomas. Happy birthday goes out to you. a special good morning and happy birthday. He's certainly no stranger here. He too hosted several shows here at Tobago Updates, and we are grateful for having him as part of the family. So we have to wish him a special good morning and happy birthday. So please don't forget again to bring us, 2 slices of cake and something to wash it down with, preferably sweet. Happy birthday goes out to you. Who do we have next?
Next, we have a short list of birthday celebrants this morning, but next we would like to shout out and wish a happy birthday to Mrs. Melissa George Webster. We hope that you enjoy your day, live many more years of prosperous life, and from the Tobago Updates team, we hope that you enjoy this special day.
Yes, and for those of you who did not make it on our list this morning, we still want to wish you a happy birthday. And for all our celebrants, both present and future, we want to wish you a happy birthday and enjoy your day. One year added to life is a lot to be thankful for. There are those who unfortunately cannot celebrate their birthdays. And for those of our students, whether it be Tobago students, whether it be CSEC and Cape, we want to wish you guys a happy birthday. We want to go straight to a rundown quickly.
Yes.
Right, and then we will tell you what's up next right after that. Who do we have this morning?
This morning we'll be joined by firstly Mr. Perrin Frank, the African Drums Coordinator, and Ms. Taisha Alexander, the Assistant PAN Coordinator, both of the multicultural units of the Division of Education, Skills and Innovation. After that, we'll be joined by Mr. Edie Stewart, the President of the Trinidad and Tobago National Nurses Association. And lastly, our final interview will be with Mr. Christopher Joseph, aka Garda Knight, and Mr. Devontae Joseph, who is better known as Vontae, and they'll be speaking with us about a new release or collaboration that they have.
Oh my God, Night.
A little bit. I know enough.
Good. That's good stuff. That's good stuff. Just remember, guys. Up next we have Mr. Perrin Frank. So we just encourage you to share the live.
Share the live.
Are you in a dispute with a registered investment service provider of the TTSEC? Or maybe you're the victim of an investment scam? You can lodge a complaint or submit an anonymous tip to the Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission. Download our Investor Protection app or go to ttsec.org.tt to access our complaint form or submit an anonymous tip. Write a clear summary of your complaint. Submit copies of supporting documents along with the originals for verification. Provide a copy of the feedback received from the entity regarding your complaint. All investor complaints or scam reports submitted by the public are acknowledged and reviewed by the TTSEC. Investigations are pursued based on the outcome of the review. Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission, protecting the interests of investors and the public. You invest, we protect. Everyone benefits.
Hi everyone, I'm Marissa Benin. Coming up, Jamaica, here we come. These women of vision are on a mission. Ride the waves and savor the flavor, otherwise known as spending quality time in Antigua and Barbuda. fun times, plus the food that sets St. Kitts and Nevis apart, all available under one roof. Cue the entertainment and the food. It's Chinese Spring Festival time. It's all next on this station.
I think part of the problem we have, and this is not unique to cardiology, but this concept of checkup is going for review. So for example, women are probably better at, they have the mammogram, they have the pap smear, an older patient may have a schedule with a healthcare clinic. So a lot of people in their 30s and their 40s and their 50s don't think of our healthcare as being part of a proactive thing. So they're waiting for something to happen, then go to the doctor.
Be viewing Caribbean Medical TV on this station.
The Caribbean is more than just a place. It's a spirit, resilient, vibrant, and full of possibility. Rooted in connection, driven by community. It's who we are at the heart of everything we do. For over 150 years, we've been right here, invested in the Caribbean, its people, and its progress. And today, we're going even further. Liberty Business, rooted in the Caribbean, committed to you.
Trinidad, Tobago, and abroad, your chance to drive away in a brand new SUV is still on. The BHS Centennial Raffle has been extended to Thursday, 30th April 2026. And that's not all. Prizes include travel for two to Miami and Curacao, Tobago staycation, iPhones, computers, smart TVs, and more. Tickets still only $100. Get yours at selected outlets or at islandetickets.com. Details at bishopstobago100.com/raffle.
This is how it's gonna go. They better look up and look, 'cause this is your show, and everybody's gonna know. Say it to them once again. They better look up and look. This is your show, and everybody's gonna know. That's how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show.
Courts.
Nice.
If I have to call a supervisor one more time to sign off on a customer because their financials are in a mess, I will scream.
Don't scream in a bank. That have lock up in it.
It's either they're not registered properly, or you know what? We could just forget about annual returns, right?
Compliance is a bad word to most of them. All your compliance out of here. But let me eat.
What is wrong with Trinbagonians? I mean, it has so much help they could get out there.
Well, you know, Trinis, we don't like to spend we money.
But you know what? Be comfortable with losing we money. That make it any financial
What people should do is call Anderson in Trinidad and Tobago.
Wait, what? Anderson in Trinidad and Tobago?
Anderson in Trinidad and Tobago Tax and Accounting Services. Yeah, they offer helping from registering your business to filing your tax. My lunch is over.
Wait, tell me more.
No, go and scream in the bank. You go and scream in the bank.
No, I don't get one sooner.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Music is essential to, development, cognitive learning. And this morning we are here to discuss music in schools. I'm certain that you did not know that there's a multicultural unit in the Tobago House of Assembly under the Division of Education. To have this discussion this morning, we'll be having Mr. Perrin Frank, African Drum Coordinator, and Ms. Taisha Alexander, Assistant Coordinator in Panning Schools Multicultural Unit. Quite a mouthful there, but we're happy to have them this morning to share with us what are some of the upcoming initiatives as it pertains to culture, music, and education. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning. Thanks for having us.
The pleasure is all ours here at Tobago. You're on Youth Wednesdays. Just for the purposes of our viewership, just tell us what your role and function is within the unit, and you as well.
No problem.
Right, so at the Multicultural Unit, in a nutshell, right, our aim is to assist in fostering the holistic development of students, and we do it through the vehicle of culture and arts, right, and we infuse that into education, right. Most times we tend to believe that a well-rounded student is a straight A student. While the straight A's, having straight A's is great, there are other aspects of the student that we tend to neglect. There's the spiritual aspect, there's the emotional aspect, there's the physical aspect, you have the cultural aspect as well, right. So we deal with the cultural aspect, and through the cultural aspect, we tend to tap into other aspects of the child, because in culture we tend to be in numbers, so you have to learn to work with others. You have to work on your communication, you have to work on discipline, you have to work on problem solving. So we tend to assist in that holistic development.
That's amazing. You're the coordinator for drums.
Yes.
So all you just be doing is drumming when the day comes. and how do you tell us more about drums, especially as it pertains to our culture? Because there's a notion that them drums are just conjure up drum beats.
Yeah, well, that's a misnomer. I mean, of course, we are naturally superstitious people. Yeah, that comes from our culture, right? But the drum played such a pivotal role in our culture as people from the Caribbean.
Yes.
It was used basically for communication, and then it was banned, and then we made adaptations to it. So out of all the struggles, came innovation and creativity, So now in Tobago, we have like the Tobago tambourine, which was a drum that was, it's short, but it was made in a way that it could be easily hidden. Yeah. So out of the struggle came the innovation, which now adds to our culture. Yeah. And no, I don't like drum every day. There's a lot of administrative work that I do in the office.
Certainly.
So it's always a back and forth. It's a lot of work, but I enjoy it, and I try to ensure that I contribute to the continuity of the culture.
Yes. And Miss Alexander.
Hi.
Hi. So just tell us what your role and function is within the unit, as it pertains to what we're here to discuss this morning.
All right. So currently we are restructuring the Planning Schools program. So as of September last year, we would have done a curriculum, a Tobago-centric curriculum, which is what the tutors are now using in the schools. So besides from the curriculum, we have the Rhythm of the Isles program festival that is coming up.
Okay, all right. So, this Rhythm of the Isles program, what is it? Is it a competition? What? I'm seeing that, you know, there were 2 winners yesterday for 2 different categories, primary school and secondary school.
Correct.
Just shed some light about that.
Right. So, part of our mandate with the multicultural unit is the Planning Schools program. Yeah. With the Planning Schools program, we've decided to ensure that the upcoming tutors and arrangers, because they also have the potential to arrange. So we decided, hey, we know that Pan Tobago has the general panorama, right? That's governed by the Pan Tobago. They're the body that governs Pan throughout Trinidad and Tobago. We already know that, right? And they have a junior steel pan competition. But most times you find that the schools in Tobago, like this year we had 1 secondary school that entered, right? And one secondary school. Yeah.
And that begs the question: do you think that our national, you know, instruments that is relevant to our culture is dying on the island?
No, it's not. It's not. And we at the multicultural unit will ensure that it doesn't die. Right. And this initiative is actually an attempt here to ensure that we thrust it forward, to ensure that, you know, there's longevity within the space. So because of the lack of entrance in that competition, we decided, hey, a lot of Tobago primary schools and secondary schools, we have instruments, we have tutors. Why not, you know, host our own little competition here? Now, it's not themed to Panorama, because then we go into the realm of copyright and all of that. So that's why we call it the Rhythm of the Isles, where we're going to give the primary schools and the secondary schools, along with the pan tutors and arrangers, the opportunity to platform themselves and their talent, you know, and showcase it to the larger audience in Tobago.
All right. So you're hoping to garner the support and the participation of all the schools on the island, yeah?
Definitely. Well, that was the attempt, but this year we had like 7 primary schools entered, and 6 secondary schools.
That's very good.
Yeah,
that's very good.
Yeah.
You know, I remember growing up in primary school. You were involved in choral speaking, pan. You had violin, flute.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Speak to some of those other instruments as well. Before we came on this interview, you mentioned the tambourine.
Yes.
Right. What about some of those other instruments? Do you have any future initiatives to kind of help keep those instruments alive in primary school, and especially for our culture here in Tobago?
Right. Well, in Tobago, we have a strong cultural appreciation. Yeah. So there are a lot of things that we would consider European influence.
Yeah.
You know, so you would find that would be a lot of the woodwind instruments, like the violin and the keyboard and the, you know. So right now within the restructuring, we are trying to source tutors, because at present we have a number of instruments there that's been packed up in the storeroom for quite some time.
Wow.
Yeah, so we are now trying to source tutors. We're working alongside UTT in Trinidad to try to have tutors come up for us to try to, you know, initiate programs that we could kind of utilize the instruments.
I have a question based on that. Is it that there's a special criteria to engaging these tutors? Because I want to believe that right here on the island we have several persons who are really gifted in these instruments, who have had years of experience in using these instruments. Is it that there's a special criteria or learning or degree or certificate that they must have to be a part of the program?
In some instances, yes, but because of the understanding of the culture and the talent that we have, we tend to avoid making it all about qualifications.
Right.
But we understand that going forward, the qualifications is essential.
Right.
So that's why we want to partner with UTT to at least, even though we use local facilitators, we have them, you know, basically overseas, so that we understand that there's proper structure towards, you know, getting to the end. of the.
Yeah, and I also remember that PAN used to be I'm not in the high school, primary school fraternity anymore. But is it still the same vibe as years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago? We know where young children were really committed to learning the PAN, learning these instruments, and going down to Trinidad and beating them and coming back up with prize and thing. Is it the same thing, happening today?
Yeah, definitely. To just kind of step out of the realm of PAN, there's a dance competition right now being held in schools. I think it's called Sparks, yeah. And we had a number of schools from Tobago. The prelims was a video submission prelims, and a Tobago school topped for limbo. They did a limbo dance, they did an African dance. I think they came second or third in that category for the African dance. But right now they're running at number 1 in for the limbo category. Right? I can't speak to so much in PAN because my forte is drum and dance and that aspect of the culture. This is the expert here in
maybe you could tell us more about PAN. The PAN was birthed out of a struggle, just like all the other.
And resilience.
Yeah. So why is it important for it to be in schools?
I think it's
and why is it important as part of our culture?
I think it's important for the youth to know the history and from whence things came. Just as how the drums came before the steel pan, and that was when they were trying to block the voices of our ancestors. So you was talking about the students going down to Trinidad and having performance opportunities and stuff. So before we reach to Trinidad, let's go back to last year Rhythm of the Isles. We had an ECC showcase, students as young as 4 years old. So there's a Tobago-centric curriculum within the ECC as well. And those students had the opportunity, they had the opportunity to showcase what they have learned to, those that were there.
Right.
So this year as well, Roxborough Speyside, they had 3 weeks to prepare for Junior Panorama, which is way less time than everyone else had. But they went down and they were fully committed because around that time there was the transportation issues with the ferry and, coming from Tobago to Trinidad, things are a little tougher than most. But they persevered.
And what are the reviews from the teachers and the parents? Seeing their children learn these instruments. And I'll tell you, when I was growing up, my father insisted that I learn to read music and play the piano. Can I play the piano now? No. But I could read music, I could read notes, and he used to have me listening to Dr. Morgan Job, right? Listen about the theory of music, and it really helped me to. Around that time, they could not touch me in school.
Music really assists in cognitive development. Because in order to read music, you have to understand timing and fractions, and you have to read time signatures. So the brain, it automatically trains the brain to process stuff, much faster than the regular person. And a lot of people tend to think, again, academics is all about the straight A's, and but it's much more than that. I mean, even in the realm, when you look at the pan in the classroom or in the pan yard, we speak of discipline, tolerance, and production. Which are watchwords, but we have that existing right in that space because for, let's say, Rhythm of the Isles, they train in schools. So at lunchtime, you have to eat your lunch, you have to get to the pan room at a particular time. You have to have the discipline to do that. When you get there, you have to be able to tolerate the different personalities within the space. Not everybody learns at the same speed. So then, you might have to come together and help somebody. That's teamwork. That's a leadership, because somebody might say, hey, you know that part so good, let me come, I'll show you. That's leadership coming up there. And then, so you have the discipline, you have the tolerance. And because of the discipline and the tolerance, you have the product, which is the larger whole.
So back to you, Miss Alexander, about the curriculum. You mentioned that the curriculum, you guys are restructuring to have. I don't know if you mentioned the curriculum is being restructured. Is it?
The curriculum is actually done.
It's done.
Yeah.
So is it that before now, we didn't have this much of an intricate, an intentionalness about having our national, well, not national, but local instruments and national instruments, of course, because Pan is national, within the curriculum for our students at all levels.
There was before, but now we are trying, as Miss Surisha Hackett, the Secretary for Tourism, Secretary for Tourism would have stated that they're trying to make things more Tobago-centric. She's been saying this since she was a part of the Division of Education. So with that mandate now, we decided that it would have been perfect to align a Tobago-centric curriculum with the music curriculum for primary schools.
Okay.
So it's Tobago-centric, but steel pan-based.
Oh, that's really good.
Yes.
All right. And what about this year's participation? About those early childhood children, are they participating as well this year?
Yes, we have at least 5 students. So at the preschool level, you wouldn't expect them to play any extravagant song or anything, but they actually, so they would have learned scales and those sort of stuff, but scales in alignment with their alphabet and the sounding of words and counting. So that is also aligned with what is taught at the ECCE level.
That's really good. Guys, we've been having a really fruitful discussion, but just kind of rehash, what the program is about, participation, what to expect before we end, unfortunately, this interview this morning.
Right. Well, basically, we want to promote the Rhythm of the Isles, the competition here that's being held by the Multicultural Unit. It's an initiative of the Multicultural Unit. It's going to be held at the Boko facility.
Integrated facility. Why so far? Oh gosh, man.
That's right there.
Shore Park. Everybody get kind of.
Unfortunately, we had some issues with Shore Park because it was a problem. I think they were experiencing some technical difficulties, so it was kind
of. The food hub.
The sun hot, boy, that heat.
No, the food hub get shelter. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry, my bad.
Yeah, so it's going to be held at the Boko Integrated Facility. Right. We're going to start at 10. It's going to be on the 29th of this month. So we're looking for support. We're going to have 7 primary schools and 5 secondary schools. Yeah, we have cash prizes ranging from the first prize, I think it's
10,000.
For secondary, right, $10,000. Oh, you're on point, man.
If you play a mark.
Right. And the admission fee is $20 for adults and $10 for students.
I shall get up to $50. But anyway,
that's
you are being
to ensure that everyone comes out to support their relative schools.
Yeah.
Affordable, the climate.
Yeah. Eventually we'll take it up. Take it to that point.
All right, so guys, thank you very much for being here and joining us this morning. Continue doing a good work in the unit. Guys, this brings us to the end of this interview. Up next, we have Edie Stewart coming to discuss with us about the healthcare disruptions. So we've been hearing a lot about the healthcare and the nurses potentially protesting and so on. So we're gonna be discussing a lot about that this morning. So thank you for joining us, and remember to share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back.
Taking long to play the card. I'm all day. I'm all in time, so good, but yo, What school you went by?
Diane Bishops, boy.
Bishops?
Yeah,
Sure,
we know
man?
the baddest has come out of Bishops, sir.
The baddest?
But telling her, boy.
Really the baddest? Boy, one night and and I is the baddest.
Boy, Bishops is the
Don't
best,
let
boy.
nobody hear you saying
Yo,
that.
what's going on with Tola? Here, what's going on? It's only a one way to settle this. We'll be live on Youth Voice TV where I, your host, Multibass, will be hosting the Rep Your School DJ competition where DJs will go head to head in a crazy battle to secure the title. We have cash prizes of $10,000 to come out and win and a lot of amazing prizes. Guys, what are you waiting for? Let me come out, come and showcase your skills. Come let me do some juggling.
So guys, there are two categories for DJs that are out of school up to 35 years. And for the DJs that are currently in school, it must be up to 19 years of age. So guys, get ready. It's all about Rep Your School. It's all about the DJ competition.
Who will bring the best vibes? Who can control the crowd? And who will earn the bragging rights? You get a chance to be a part and witness the rise of the new DJ generation. So this is Youth Voice, Rep Your School DJ, live on Tobago Updates. Stay tuned.
Youth Voice, Rep Your School DJ competition. Rep Your School.
Hi everyone, I'm Marissa Benin. Coming up, Jamaica, here we come. These women of vision are on a mission. Ride the waves and savor the flavor, otherwise known as spending quality time in Antigua and Barbuda. Fun times, plus the food that sets St. Kitts and Nevis apart, all available under one roof. Cue the entertainment and the food. It's Chinese Spring Festival time. It's all next on this station.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning, viewers, and welcome back to the Tobago Updates Morning Show. It's Youth Wednesdays here, and currently joining us we have Mr. Edie Stewart. He is the president of the Trinidad and Tobago National Nurses Association, and he's here to discuss with us some of the health disruptions that occurred last week as a result of a protest that the association would have staged, as well as issues the nurses are facing, things that they would like to see improved. Good morning, Mr. Stewart, and welcome to Tobago Updates.
You may want to unmute your mic.
Mr. Stewart, we haven't trouble hearing. Okay, we're hearing you now.
Yes, we're hearing.
So good morning and welcome.
Okay, great.
For
Thanks so much for
persons-
having me.
You're welcome. For persons who may not be aware of the issues that nurses are currently facing and the reasons behind their protests, can you please shed some light on what the nurses are trying to bring to the attention of the government?
Well, there are many issues within the healthcare space that nursing and midwifery personnel are negatively affected by. There are many issues. The list is long. But the chief issue which the association and its membership are really articulating currently is the issue of continuing to work on 2013 salaries in an economy that we are in 2026, where every single thing is rising in our country, from taxes to parking tickets to street fines to all manner of consumables that persons taking on a daily basis. Every single thing is rising. And the only thing that is remaining fixed is our salaries. And might I add, Nursing Association is at the forefront of all of these demonstrations. Persons may mistakenly believe it's only nursing and midwifery personnel that we are fighting on behalf of. We are actually fighting on behalf of all healthcare workers, every ward attendant, every ward's maid, every escort, every doctor, every nutritionist, social worker, the list, everyone that is working within the healthcare sector is negatively being affected by specifically the government's silence on when healthcare workers would receive a salary increase. That is what is really the troubling issue. It's not so much they haven't paid it as yet. It's not so much they haven't paid it, would be paying it tomorrow. It's the fact that they are not communicating to the healthcare workers when this payment would be forthcoming. And that is what really has nursing and midwifery personnel and other healthcare workers really in up in hand. That continued sustained silence on this topic. They are refusing to make any statement on it. Yeah.
All right. So you've warned of further disruptions. What can the national landscape expect from from the nurses throughout Trinidad and Tobago in the upcoming weeks? And does this seem to you guys that the government doesn't care about the nurses in Trinidad and Tobago? What are your thoughts?
Well, firstly, the association will be holding a meeting this coming Saturday at 2 p.m. for all our members. It's a hybrid meeting, both in person and online, where we will be presenting the way forward for our membership. Yes, there would be some disruptions, but everything that the association is planning to do would be within the strict confines of the laws of Trinidad and Tobago. We know we have been doing this quite a while, so we know what we can and cannot do. Now, it is not only the Nursing Association, might I add, who are extremely disgruntled in all of these things. We may be the most vocal and the most known, but there are a number of other actors within the healthcare space who are planning their own activities. And by the looks of what they are planning, through the informal information that we are getting, yes, that too would have some severe disruptions within the healthcare space. And we want to reiterate, because the association wants to mitigate the fallout from those planned activities or pending activities. And we are really hoping this continued silence, this disrespect that is being shown to healthcare workers by the sitting government. We hope they do the right thing and choose to communicate, choose to be honest with healthcare workers on these basic issues. And we always say, those who have the power to choose war should choose peace. And at this present time, nothing within the government actions is indicating that they prefer peace over war. And hopefully, at some point in time, that policy position which they have taken, it is actually 5 months we are approaching of complete silence on this particular issue. 5 months. And it is really, it is building. And what we saw on the streets of Port of Spain last Friday is a mere smoke from what is expected to come in the not too distant future. Yeah.
There has been a notion or a narrative rather about the state of the healthcare even prior to this issue about our healthcare workers. How would your protest, further exacerbate that notion or that narrative, in light of the protests or upcoming protests? What if the government doesn't, accede to your cries, your wishes of the association in care as it pertains to these workers? workers? How do we safeguard healthcare in the country? Sorry, preventing any fallout of patients and mashing up the healthcare, if we want of a better terminology. What are your thoughts?
Well, all of that is in the government hands. I could tell you, nursing and midwifery personnel and other healthcare workers are prepared for this battle. It's a battle, actually, if you look internationally, a number of countries have been engaged in this battle. A number of countries in Africa, even in the United States, persons would have seen nurses went without 3 months of salary protesting on the streets because it is patently unfair to suppress workers' salary in any sector, but worse yet, trying to suppress it within the health sector. I mean, that is really unacceptable because nursing and midwifery personnel and healthcare workers treat with citizens at their most vulnerable. Why would you want someone who has to interface with persons at the most vulnerable, at their most weakest? Why would you want them to be disgruntled and interacting with the public? Why? What is the benefit to the government for having this impasse continuing into the future? What is the relevance when a simple statement can reassure the workers? Is it that you actually have no intention of raising healthcare workers' salary? Is it that what is the plan? And thus you cannot come out and say it? That is the only logical reasoning that one can come to. Because if a simple statement say, look, healthcare workers, you would receive an increase in 3 months' time or 4 months' time, just be patient. Well, then healthcare workers will be understanding and we could say, okay, it's just 3-4 months. Despite we have waited in excess of a decade, we will wait 3 more months. But the silence is extremely worrying. And now, because the healthcare workers are pushing back, understandably, I hope persons would understand the need to push back. The powers that be are now expressing concern and whatnot. But definitely the association empathize with members of the public and patients who may be needing treatment. And again, the association would do everything in our power to mitigate the fallout. And that is why the association has consistently, all the actions we have called for has been during the lunch hour of workers, as we try our best to press home our issues, but not cause too much disruption within the healthcare system. But that patience, even for us, is waning thin.
Now, Mr. Stewart, as you bring the points of the importance of communication and reassurance from the government, and as we would have discussed past protests and future actions that healthcare workers intend to take, as president of the Nurses Association, you are somewhat in a hot seat. Your role is of utmost importance in these actions that are being taken. What are some of the challenges you face as you progress through this negotiating period, or this period of silence, which is, I'm sure, filled with a lot of tension and a lot of backlash from maybe even nurses themselves?
Yes, it is a continuing, changing dynamic in the healthcare space. One of the major challenges faced by the association and myself is there are a number of groups, even within nursing, who wants greater action, more robust action. And I, as head of the association and my executive, are at pains to indicate to workers, look, this is going too far. This is going too far. Let us, extend the olive branch to government. Let's try and find ways to communicate with them. Let's speak to the independent senators. Let's speak to the opposition. Let's reach out to labor representatives in the very government who would have demonstrated themselves and found it totally unacceptable to keeping workers on 2013 salaries when prior to them attaining office. And we have a number of them currently in government, from the Minister of Labour to the junior ministers of energy and public utilities. So we have a number of them. Even we have a Labour leader on the boards of some of the very RHAs. And we are trying to reach out to them to let good sense prevail so they can speak with the leader of the government. But I mean, it's really shocking and sad that you have so many former labor leaders in the government, and we cannot get the sort of response. We cannot break that silence from the government. It's really so unfortunate that, the country would have made a choice. And that choice appears not to be working in the interests of a large cross-section of workers. It may have worked for workers who are part of one or two unions, but for the vast majority of us who didn't openly come out and support a political party, because that is the bar within our constitution to openly support any political party. We at the Association Nursing and Midwifery Personnel are made up of persons from all political parties. So there's no way we're going to instruct workers to vote in a particular way at this present time, at least. So it is so sad that it almost appears that we are being penalized for not supporting a political party. And I mean, really, that is worrying if that is in fact so. So yeah, a number of challenges face the association.
My final question to you this morning is, just because we have but a short time with you, there has been a lot of brouhaha about overtime and so on. Just bring some clarity to that for us, and give our viewership some insight as to what is happening pertaining to overtime, etc.
Yes. So, because of the health sector being so short of nursing and midwifery personnel, and it has been short for in excess of 30 years, actually 20, 30 years ago, what the government how they sought to treat with the shortage of nursing and midwifery personnel, which still can exist today, is by encouraging extra duty amongst nursing and midwifery personnel. However, how they compensate nurses for working beyond their 8-hour shift or beyond their 40 hours a week is by firstly, just giving them time back. So instead of being paid in money terms, in dollar terms, they will just give you your time back, straight time back. You work 8 hours. Whenever the authority can facilitate you getting back that 8 hours, they will give you that 8 hours. So that's one way.
Is that legal? Is it legal?
No, it's not.
And what is the association doing about that? Is there a legal battle to ensue from all of this? Because it doesn't seem illegal to me, but I'm no legal expert.
Correct. It was really as a result of it is something that the association is challenging, and we are telling our members under no circumstance persons have to be working for time back. And then we also have extended now to under no circumstance that we should be working for pool. Pool is something that was created 20, 30 years, where instead of being paid the normal overtime rates, where the average worker in Trinidad and Tobago currently gets, and every worker in the RHA currently gets, you have a system where you get one flat rate as a nursing and midwifery personnel, one flat rate, regardless of how many hours you work. Persons who are familiar with overtime, they would know the first 4 hours you should be paid time and a half. The second 4 hours you are paid double time and so on, triple time and all of that. But nurses work for one flat time, and that has caused real hardship for nursing personnel. Both forms of compensation, time back and this flat pool rate. And we are telling nurses no longer accept these terms, and we're going to press ahead that you must be paid in overtime for any extra duty. You are mandated to work. This is not even voluntary. They're mandating you to work because there's no one to take over your shift. So you have to remain on duty. And we are saying, no, we are pushing back on that. And you'll hear more of that when we have our meetings this Saturday to roll out our plans going forward. Yeah.
And let's talk about some of the other. Is this issue solely about salary and the 2013 salary, or are there other issues that nurses are speaking to, or in the healthcare fraternity are speaking to?
Within day-to-day work.
Yeah. What about working conditions? Are they under the best working conditions? Especially coming out from COVID-19. What are the nurses saying as they put outside of the salary issue?
There are multiplicity of issues.
Just give us these 2 top ones.
So quickly, because there's a shortage of nursing and midwifery personnel, it is having a ripple effect as one would expect, because the volume of work is not reducing. In fact, the reverse is true. The volume of work is increasing with the same shortage of nursing personnel. So the average nurse have serious issues with being burnt out. The average nurse is having serious issues with having psychological problems within the workplace, because you are studying issues at home, but you have to be on work more than 8 hours. So you have to be on work 14 and 16 hours when the day come. Your life, the more you are on work, is the more your personal life is being affected, as one would expect. It's more your children will be affected. Your children go unattended. You can't do the normal things persons in an 8 to 4 job will do. You can't take up your children from school, so your bills are rising. Your daycare bills are rising. You can't qualify for normal housing on the open market because you can't qualify. Because your salary is still on 2013 salary, and the bank manager will laugh you out of the office. You have situations where you can't continue your education because the ward is so short and they can't spare you going off on a course. And then you have the issue of, unfortunately, in Trinidad and Tobago, we have no more specialized training of nursing and midwifery personnel. So we have a number of persons working in the area and they were not trained for that particular area. So they're placing their license at risk now going forward. We have issues of shortage of resources, as one would expect. We in Trinidad and Tobago, over the years, have been increasing our secondary healthcare facilities because we have failed at healthcare. So now we have constantly growing sick population. So more and more persons require secondary care services at these hospitals. So now we have 14 secondary healthcare facilities, which we are having great difficulty in finding the human resource to manage these facilities, and also we cannot properly resource them with the consumables necessary. So you have a situation where a procedure that a nurse ought to take 5 minutes to complete, it's now taking an hour because that nurse has to go from ward to ward to ward, call around, trying to get syringes, trying to get needles, trying to get inco pads, trying to get catheters, because your ward don't have it. So it stresses out the nurse on an ongoing basis. And a couple of the RHAs are particularly guilty of this, particularly NCRHA. But we must commend the TRHA for attempting to resolve some of these issues, but there are a number of issues still on the agenda, inclusive of the ongoing issue in TRG of permanency of employment for nursing and midwifery personnel. While, persons would have initially been told that they would have been granted permanent late last year prior to the THA elections. We are aware of a number of persons who have since been given another contract. So that stability of employment is also a continuing issue for us. So while some persons would have received permanent employment, a large cross-section still are awaiting that permanency employment. So a number of issues across the health sector. And there are more macro issues in terms of quality control, health sector accreditation. None of these things have yet to be addressed by successive governments, unfortunately, to enable a citizen to feel truly comfortable that they are getting real value for money with their taxpayers' dollars. A number of things have to be addressed, but unfortunately, they are being ignored. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Stewart, for joining us this morning and shedding some light on some of the issues facing with, well, not even some, but a lot of the issues that our nurses and healthcare workers are facing in the nation. This morning, I want to thank you for joining us. Jolie, thank you for being there with me. Guys, this brings us to the end of this interview. We want to tell them one thing before we come back. We go and come back, which is to share the live, share the live, share the live.
Welcome to Tobago Glass Supplies Limited, where innovation meets excellence and service reigns supreme. Our commitment is simple: to provide high-quality, innovative aluminum, vinyl and glass solutions for both commercial and residential spaces. At TGSL, we don't just meet needs, we exceed expectations. Our range includes the finest aluminum cladding options, setting new standards in durability and style. Driven by our passion to elevate, we aim to be the leading supplier in the Caribbean market while retaining our identity as a family-owned business. Because at Tobago Glass Supplies Limited, it's not just about products. It's about relationships, it's about you. Innovation, quality, service. That's Tobago Glass Supplies Limited.
Office looking professional.
Hello?
Hey, bandit!
Is this Charles and Charles Inc.? I'm your new receptionist.
Oh, yes. Welcome, welcome. This is Charles and Charles.
So you're Charles?
And Charles.
Okay then. Well, I see you're ready for business.
Oh, yes. I have my favorite photo, my desk, and a spot for George.
George?
On the doubles, man. Have my marriage certificate, my cow certificate, my divorce certificate.
Tax certificate?
Taxi? No, I used to pull bull.
No. Tax certificate.
Tax? Yes, I had one of that in the last office, but I lost it. No, wait, I had one in my mother's house, but I think the cow eats it.
Look, Mr. Charles.
And Charles?
Do you pay your taxes? It is critical to your business. You should call Anderson in Trinidad and Tobago. Yeah, they provide tax and accounting services, and their corporate secretarial services. The best.
Really? How you know?
Well, my last boss lost his whole business and I lost my work.
Oh.
There's a tax amnesty going on now.
Really? So I can pay all my back taxes?
And don't forget to call Anderson so you could save your business and I could keep my work. Oh God, no. This picture has got to go.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning. Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, Good morning.
Just like that, all good things must come to an end. This is Youth Wednesday on the Tobago Updates morning show. You're hearing us here live in Port Moresby, Tobago, and it was a pleasure to share with you this morning. Jolie, we had a really insightful morning.
Dynamic discussion.
Yeah, dynamic discussion. On one end, we had music, education, and culture, and the other end,
the aisles, something for both ECC, primary and secondary school students to be involved in, and it's really a form of cultural promotion and preservation, specifically of the national instruments.
Let me ask you a question. What instruments you played in primary school or high school?
In primary school, I did.
Don't tell me the flute.
No, we did recorder in secondary school, but in primary school, I did guitar, pan, and keyboard in secondary school.
Okay, that's Papa, yo. I only did the flute and the piano, but the piano was more private lessons.
Well, yeah, for me as well. So it was mostly the pan.
So you can read music?
Yes, I can. Not as good as I used to, but practice.
Boy, that was really good. And just tell us about your pan experience. You did it all the way up to high school?
No, I didn't. I think we had pan for about 2 years, and then COVID came.
Oh.
Yes.
COVID
caused a lot of activities to
disruption. But it's good to see that they're maintaining that introduction of music and the preservation of culture in our schools across all the stages, right? And we also had a discussion with Mr.
E.D. Stewart.
Yeah, that situation is quite
unfortunate.
It's an unfortunate circumstance, but I do understand that some of the fiscal policies and restrictions of the government now, because they campaign on such a very attractive, I would say, campaign about increasing salaries and so on. Everybody is going to come to I want mine.
And 13 years is a long time
it's
to
a long
wait.
time. It's
and
twice. 13 years later.
Almost my lifetime. But it's very refreshing. It's very refreshing to see that the association, as well as other healthcare workers, are maintaining the peaceful route and not specifically or deliberately engaging in activity that will cause any form of disruption to patient care.
Yeah, and I do hope that the government finds some strategic way of mitigating or meeting them at least on the half
mark.
I think it's it's unreasonable to expect a 2026 salary, but something has to give.
These are frontline workers.
Yeah, and I don't know that there is, for me, adequate evidence to say that we really treat our frontline workers with the care and respect that they do deserve. I don't want to. I don't think I could be a doctor. I don't think I could be a nurse. Not for the reasons that I can't see blood or anything like that, or I'm incapable. But it's just not my calling, right? And I do feel it for our health. I know some of them would have migrated over the COVID period because the conditions under which they were working, is quite one thing.
You speak about calling. A lot of these nurses, they have the patients that they do because they are in the job because of passion.
Yes.
And purpose.
Yes. So our producer is giving us the hands this morning. I don't understand, but I know you guys love chatting with us, but unfortunately this brings us to the end of Youth Wednesdays and Tobago Updates morning show. We go over to Good Morning Tobago. We want to thank you for joining us again, and remember to
share the live, share the live, share the live.
Have a great day.
of our autistic individuals who bring something unique to the families and the communities which they are part of. Whether it is a different way of thinking, different way of communicating, or even experiencing the world, these differences add depth and interest to our families and communities.
As we officially launch Autism Awareness Month 2026, let us all move forward with open minds, open hearts, and be committed to building a society where differences are truly celebrated.
Autism Tobago, in our minds, stands as a beacon of hope and advocacy within our society. Since its establishment in the year 2010, a formal incorporation in the year 2016, the organization has remained steadfast in its mission to improve the quality of life of persons living with autism in Tobago. This is not just a statement, but a commitment that continues to transform lives across our island.
This booth is really for persons and the public to interact, come and receive information. We will be adding things to it throughout the month. So we'll be adding brochures and so on for persons to come and take one and have the information to move.
That was a production of the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly. Across Tobago, our stories don't fade. They live on. Hold close. This is the story of one woman who refused to let culture be forgotten. For the Silver Fox Lindsay Williams, a guardian of Good Friday traditions, and even in her passing, her legacy lives on. At 6 a.m. sharp, an egg is gently cracked into a glass of water and placed in the morning sun, and as the hours pass, something remarkable begins to form. Shapes, stories, signs of belief.
You see, long ago now, when fowl lay, and they could have used the egg because they never used to put egg in fridge, and them thing they said the thing that sees the thing that it wouldn't rise. Make sure 6 o'clock when the sun rising, fast as the sun coming up, that coming up too.
For her, it wasn't just a ritual, it was faith, tradition, and a quiet connection to something deeper. But Good Friday wasn't complete without the heart of it all. The old school roast bake, done the traditional way, fire below and fire above. No ovens, no shortcuts, just skill, patience, and tradition.
The fire blow the fire on top. That how they used to cook long time. When the pot get hot, you put it down below, the fire must be low on top under the baking. The color that's come from the fire go down on it.
What once defined the good old days still lives on today, through her children, her grandchildren, family, friends. A tradition carried forward, because in Tobago, tradition isn't just remembered, it is lived. I'm Josanne Brassey, reminding you that while times may change, the spirit of our culture lives on.
You're viewing Tobago Updates Television, your exclusive gateway to Tobago, broadcasting the beauty of this island paradise to the world.
Tobago
morning as the passion start to rise, the energy fill the skies. I say thanks for favor to wake up and hear my neighbor. 60,000 people strong and the vibes is never wrong. We are beauty, we are power, we are people in the sun. We are beaches, we are rivers, we are melanated ones. We special and there is no denying. Tobago is number one. I am you and you are me. Together we're stronger. Good morning, Tobago. Good morning, Tobago. Good morning, Tobago.
Good morning, and welcome back to Good Morning Tobago, right here on Tobago Updates. I am your host, Chanel Felix. And ladies and gentlemen, you know, whenever you see me sitting here, it's because we're about to have those conversations that you want to have while I ask those questions that you want asked. But before we get into this morning's interesting topics and conversations, let's have our news in 90 seconds. Authorities are continuing their probe into the alleged assault of Tobago Regional Health Authority employee Kevon Lewis by soldiers following a vehicle collision in West Tobago back in February. This according to Defense Minister Wayne Sturge when questioned in the Senate. While specific details regarding the suspect remains under wraps, Opposition Senator Melanie Rajman followed up on this probe at yesterday's Senate sitting. Additionally, Unity of the People leader Nkosi Phillips is firing back at the THA, claiming that the fatal jet ski accident in Pigeon Point could have been avoided. Phillips stated they submitted a comprehensive tourism project, the TTYWR Buku Reef Tourism Project, multiple times to the Division of Tourism. The proposal allegedly included specific training, licensing, and safety measures for jet ski operators that Phillips believes would have prevented the lawlessness and led to the 7-year-old Angelica Jogi's death. And finally, residents near the Adventure Housing Development in Plymouth can breathe easy. The Division of Housing and Public Utilities claims that the recent discharge at the Plymouth Water Treatment Facility has been resolved. It's reported that a technical team successfully replaced a faulty pump and stabilized the wet well. While the system is currently stable, officials are planning long-term infrastructural upgrades to address recurring challenges at the site. And that was our news in 90 seconds. Ladies and gentlemen, this morning we continue our conversations. And as you can see, I have the privilege of being in studio this morning and chatting with the man himself, Mr. Curtis Williams, who is the chairman of the Tobago Division of the Trinidad and Tobago Chamber of Industry and Commerce. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning and welcome to your viewers and listeners. It's a pleasure being here.
Right. This morning we're talking a bit about what has happened in Tobago over the Easter period. Usually we know that is one of those periods where we see a surge in tourism on the island. Tell us a bit about what has been reported back to the chamber, and we're going to touch a bit on that incident that took place in Pigeon Point as well during our discussions this morning. But of course we want to start off with Easter. Was Easter a bumper season as was Carnival in October, or have we seen a different pattern?
Well, up to yesterday, we had a committee meeting and we at the chamber and we discussed Easter among other things. And from the reports on the ground, Easter have been really different from the previous. So we see that there was an upsurge of visitors on the island. Some of the folks within the tourism sector did extremely well. Others were just on the average. And then, so we know for sure with the new dispensation, I realized that there's a calendar of events for the year. So there's a little more structure. I'm seeing a little bit of structure coming out of the festival committee commission, where they indicated like a roadmap for the year as to all the events coming up, and just encourage the guys and them into all the different aspects of planning. We can now sit down and plan going forward, and I'm happy about that. I read a message yesterday that the stakeholders is going to meet with the tourism secretary, and we're going to discuss more into that plan, especially going into the October Carnival. So I'm excited to see what again the festival committee is doing for the island in terms of activities and all the different vendors and all, we can actually see what's happening and plan accordingly, which is good.
Right. And I remember us having this conversation late in 2025 about the role of the private sector as it pertains to helping to increase or broaden the reach of the Tobago Carnival, and the fact that it is expected that all business persons on the island will participate in the festival by helping to create that hype through marketing, having those Tobago Carnival specials and sales and promotions, just like you see happening for that Trinidad and Tobago Carnival at a national level. You almost see all corporate entities doing something to promote what is happening at around Carnival time, to play on that. Usually when you are in Port of Spain and you see all the branding for Carnival, it's usually tied to some organization, whether it's one of those fast-moving goods company or one of those big furniture producers like Courts or whatever entity. You see corporate entities coming on board to create that hype and that liveliness. Is that a part of the conversation for the Chamber in Tobago about the role of the private sector in also boosting the energy surrounding Tobago Carnival?
Apparently you were in the meeting last night, because those were some of the things that we discussed. The private sector playing a critical role in the Tobago Carnival. Maybe like a month leading up to the carnival, offering specials in accommodation and in different events. It's like a passport. It's like a Tobago Carnival passport, where you have a series of events that you could attend to once you get that passport. And so we're trying to look at the business aspect of the Tobago Carnival. We as the chamber, that's the part that we want to play, the business aspect of it, and how Tobago small business can really get back from the Tobago Carnival. I know the money invested is a huge amount from the THA and other players, so we want to see how we can make that into reality and it goes down to the smaller man on the streets, and so that everybody win from it all, and not just certain sector will be flourishing and the other sectors are crippled. The integrate part of it, and I think it's something that we discuss about, is getting across to Tobago. So we know that for sure Caribbean Airlines, the Port Authority, had to play an integrated part in getting the visitors here. And that's always the story. I'm trying to book and I can't get across. But I can tell you now, because some friends called me from Dubai and they want to get into Tobago and they can't get in because the flight, everything is booked up already. Some of the accommodations is full already. All right, so I can tell you it's going to be a real bumper to 2026 Carnival. So all those folks who hearing us, listening us, watching us, plan early, because that, I can tell you accommodation is already filled for Tobago Carnival. Some of the major accommodation spaces, they're already filled. So I know airline tickets are going to be going, Seabridge tickets are going to be going, so it meant that Caribbean Airlines and the Port Authority will have to up the game and ensure that they could bring the visitors across to Tobago safely around that period.
Right, and in previous years, we've heard complaints about persons saying that the Tobago House of Assembly or the Festival Commission has taken too long to start promoting the Tobago Carnival. But since the beginning of the year, we've seen the promotions happening from the National Carnival level come right down to Easter, where we've seen a lot of visibility in the branding for October Carnival. How is the Chamber dealing with this? Are you guys satisfied? in what you are seeing being demonstrated compared to previous years, and what are some of the recommendations as it pertains to that international appeal outside of just the local marketing?
Well, I'm happy to say that a member of our team is on the commission, and I can see new spirit, new blood on the commission. I can see the excitement on the Tobago Festival Commission. They are not dreamers. They are people who really want to see things happen. And I must say thanks to whoever is the one that's responsible for putting that board together. And it's a mix of vibrant people, forward-thinking folks there. And I've seen a lot of activity happening, and they're not waiting until mere 2 months. They already done start to roll out a lot of stuff for the Tobago Carnival and the other festival leading up to the Tobago Carnival. So the deeper conversation now is to treat with all the promoters and all the ones who want to get into this space, so that they're able to put the events and them a bit more spread out. Correct. Instead of putting one day, having 5 events on one day, and then, so we can make the whole of October, because remember the carnival is at the end of October, just going on to the 1st of November. So what we can see is the whole of October going straight
end of September.
Yes, going straight into November, that you have activities all well spaced out and well thought about, and I think that would be real energy into the system. And instead of one day we having 5 and 6 events where everybody is going wrong like a turtle from one next to the next, it doesn't make sense.
I like that you mentioned that, because that was one of the things that I kept harping on in 2025. Why not gauge salaries at the end of September going into October, as opposed to trying to get everybody's pay at the end of October for Carnival?
Correct.
Usually we have the National Carnival that takes place February, sometimes March. The events take place from January, coming right down every weekend. There's something happening. There's an all-inclusive. There's a boat ride. There's a cooler fete. Something is happening to continue to engage persons. And you have Tobagoans that go down on the weekend, come back, participate in these events. And so I'm happy to see that that is a part of the conversation as it pertains to spreading out those activities, instead of having 2 days or 3 days leading up to the carnival where everybody wants to have their event on those days.
Yeah, and that's good. That's really, really, really good. So that's, and the meeting that to be carded with the stakeholders, I think that's going to bring some kind of meat to it. And it was, I think, let's look at it this way. This 2026 is going to be, I think, going to be the mega of the carnival.
Right.
I'm just concerned, as I said, always concerned of getting people across to Tobago. We had that influx, and how best we can work with that. Whether the THA going to wet lease aircraft, with Caribbean Airlines do have the capacity to bring people across for the month of October, September, October, November. All these things will have to be worked out to ensure that we get visitors across here. So those folks coming in from North America, those folks coming in from Europe, that make sure that they can get across to Tobago seamless. Because there's a lot of folks from North America in the US is coming in. And I can tell you, there are packages, there are people putting out packages already, and seats and accommodations are already filling up. So it's important that we keep these things in mind.
Right, and then we segue into the conversation, because persons, when they come to the island, they want to find out what can they do when they get to Tobago. That's an important part of the Tobago experience. And the conversation has happened about training, the quality of service offering, safety, regulations, and licensing, not just for jet ski or water sport operators, but for tour operators, persons that operate hikes, persons that are doing 5Ks, whatever it is that persons decide to have around that time. There should be a certain level of oversight and a particular standard of services being offered, because what is being offered during this time for the tourists has to do with the long-term view of the island for many persons, whether it be their first or second time visiting the island. So what is the discussion surrounding ensuring that service quality is a part of the mandate going into this October Carnival? Because you have a number of persons saying, I'm not going back to Tobago again after that time. This person was rude to me. I had a bad experience on the airport. I had a bad experience when I went to Store Bay, and I had persons coming up to me and jostling me for a boat tour or whatever. do you think that it's important or crucial for these things to be put in place before such a huge influx on the island?
And you're correct, and that will be part of the conversation with the secretary about the customer service treating with visitors on the island. It's not up the level of appreciation. Even treating our own self, our own Tobagonian, treating each other when we see the level, where you are, and you know, and these kind of things, and you know, where you calling for, and you know, you're not getting that nice customer service that you so expect. So if we can practice it among ourselves, how can we do it for visitors? And that's something that we, the business community, look at, and we're looking at it very, very closely. And we've seen it everywhere. We've seen it in the financial institutions. We've seen it in the place we go to the service stations. We've seen it all over. So it's important that customer service be there. The same thing with the risk evaluation, risk management. So once you enter into business with tourists, their basic insurance that you must have, which is public liability. So you cannot, and I think then we have to set the standard through the THA, that you have to put standards in all these folks who offering services to these guests. The main one is public liability insurance. You must have insurance, public liability insurance, and then you must be able to cover your workers. So you have to have workers' compensation. So two main insurance that you must have, you having employees and you now having guests, people coming into your business place. So you must have public liability to cover them in case of any accident or incident, as the case may be. So those are some basic things we were looking at. Our risk people, our insurance people within the chamber were talking about it, and how much of these people are trained and certified to do what they're doing. I mean, to drive a car, you have to be trained, and then you have to be licensed. So you get a license to operate a motor vehicle, and that's the only way the insurance company will give you the because you're competent. You reach a level of competency. And unfortunately, we see what's happening in the space where most of the owners, and we could segue into it and talk about the jet ski. And I'm sorry to the family.
Yes, and we're going to touch on that, but I want us to take a quick break right here, and we'll get into the details of that after this. See you soon.
Hi everyone, I'm Marissa Benin. Coming up, Jamaica, here we come. These women of vision are on a mission. Ride the waves and savor the flavor, otherwise known as spending quality time in Antigua and Barbuda. Fun times, plus the food that sets St. Kitts and Nevis apart, all available under one roof. Cue the entertainment and the food. It's Chinese Spring Festival time. It's all next on this station.
Are you in a dispute with a registered investment service provider of the TTSEC? Or maybe you're the victim of an investment scam? You can lodge a complaint or submit an anonymous tip to the Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission. Download our Investor Protection app or go to ttsec.org.tt to access our complaint form or submit an anonymous tip. Write a clear summary of your complaint. Submit copies of supporting documents along with the originals for verification. Provide a copy of the feedback received from the entity regarding your complaint. All investor complaints or scam reports submitted by the public are acknowledged and reviewed by the TTSEC. Investigations are pursued based on the outcome of the review. Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission, protecting the interests of investors and the public. You invest, we protect. Everyone benefits.
Trinidad, Tobago and abroad, your chance to drive away in a brand new SUV is still on. The BHS Centennial Raffle has been extended to Thursday 30th April 2026. And that's not all. Prizes include travel for two to Miami and Curacao, Tobago staycation, iPhones, computers, smart TVs and more. Tickets still only $100. Get yours at selected outlets or at islandetickets.com. Details at bishopstobago100.com/raffle.
Office looking professional.
Hello,
Hey, bandit!
Is this Charles and Charles Inc.? I'm your new receptionist.
Oh, yes. Welcome, welcome. This is Charles and Charles.
So you're Charles?
And Charles.
Okay then. Well, I see you're ready for business.
Oh, yes, yes. I have my favorite photo, my desk, and a spot for George.
George?
On the doubles, man. Have my marriage certificate, my cow certificate, my divorce certificate.
Tax certificate?
Taxi? No, I used to pull bull.
No. Tax certificate.
Tax? Yes, I had one of that in the last office, but I lost it. No, wait, I had one in my mother's house, but I think the cow eats it.
Look, Mr. Charles.
And Charles?
Do you pay your taxes? It is critical to your business. You should call Anderson in Trinidad and Tobago. Yeah, they provide tax and accounting services, and their corporate secretarial services. The best.
Really? How you know?
Well, my last boss lost his whole business, and I lost my work.
Oh.
You know, there's a tax amnesty going on now.
Really? So I can pay all my back taxes?
And don't forget to call Anderson so you could save your business and I could keep my work. Oh God, no. This picture has got to go.
Welcome back to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are just joining us, then we have been chatting a lot about what has been happening in Tobago for the Easter period and what can be expected from our carnival period that would be coming up, looking at that large influx of tourists on the island and how that affects the business community. This morning we have in studio with us Mr. Curtis Williams, who is the chairman of the Tobago division of the Chamber of Industry and Commerce. And we're going to touch a bit on that tragedy that struck recently at the Pigeon Point Heritage Park. And as I said yesterday, we're in a season where when tragedy happens, persons get emotional, and with emotion comes that wanting to put the blame somewhere or on someone. But the focus has to be on creating a system that avoids this type of thing from happening again in the future. What has the conversation been like at the level of the chamber as it relates to this incident that happened?
Well, as I said, first thing, and we want to send our condolences to the family of the young girl. It's heartfelt. I wasn't around, but I got the information and I felt, oh my goodness, this is really, really, really terrible. And who to take the blame? And we always want to pass the blame. But I, as a Tobagoan, and I accept the blame. Right, because it is my country, and we ought to have things in place to protect our citizens.
So do they send the suit to you?
No, what I meant that we should take the blame. So she started to say, well, it's he or she or them or them. Take the blame as the head. Take the blame. Because the thing is that Pigeon Point or even the Marine Park, this Tobago itself, and we know tourists, and I mean, I know a lot of folks who work within the tourism sector. I spent a lot of time around tourists. I'm working the cruise ship division of Disney, and I've been on Disney Island, and where we treat with tourists 2,700 tourists every single week. And we had to manage these people, all the risks, jet ski, you name it. We have everything going on. But the idea of managing it. And the first thing in managing all these different things is to put policies in place. You have to have policies in place. And policies that goes with enforcement. So policies is rules and directions in which you want the operators to, work in the space safely, and there's enforcement. So if you break the rules, you do, this will happen to you. This will be.
And even in the conversation yesterday that I had with Attorney Martin George, he laid out somewhat of a three-step approach to the regularization, regulation, and enforcement. A number of, and I heard from one of the operators, one of the stakeholders, Mr. Frankie from Frankie Tours, saying that we currently exist in a time where persons can go import a jet ski and put it out on the water without it being licensed or certified. So who is to say who can and who cannot operate these jet skis or other water sports? How often should they be certified? Is it a yearly thing? Should they be subjected to health and safety training, that type of thing? How should a person be briefed before going on a jet ski? Do you just tell them, hold on tight, put on your life jacket, and you know, what is there emergency briefing that says in the case of if you fall, there's something on your life jacket, you pull it, there's a whistle, there's a bell, there's, you know, just common things that make persons feel safer, or put something in place that says we have some level of structure when security is concerned.
Correct. And well, I mean, I expect now, I mean, lesson to be learned, and so we start off with dealing with the policy part of it. So whether it's the division of tourism or the division of environment, which one of the divisions will be one spearheading this whole thing?
Right.
I remember recent years gone by, they used to have a reef patrol, and there were 2 boats that the THA had, and the guys and them were precepted, and they used to go on the reef to ensure that all operators was there. And yeah, they were precepted, so they could have detained you.
Those reef patrols.
Yes, they could have detained you, they could arrest you because they were precepted, and all those things just fall apart within the last years gone by. So we have to. It's not to say that it wasn't there, it just fall apart for some strange reason. So the powers that be, the THA now have to look, let's put the policy down, let's put the guidelines in, let's look at the enforcement aspect of it, and then we have to have someone policing it. Right? Let me don't look at the putative measures. We can't have the police out there. The police is not rare. You see police on the sea, and most police, unless they belong to the marine aspect of the police, but the normal police going out on the seas is a very hard task. The Coast Guard have bigger things to do, and so they to really rely on doing just that coastal patrol for marine activities, etc. So hence the reason why the teacher had to form a team of people, a department of safety or something that will employ the different skill set. So you'll have people out there with small boats, or even same jet ski that will be policing that area, because a jet ski is a craft that can move fast. So you can get to an emergency, you can get to someone, and in terms of emergency. And then you put all the necessary things, you know, because we realize that how tourism is so flexible and fragile for us. It's important that we build out everything in that space. So we're talking about putting in enforcement, we're talking about putting in policies, and we're talking about even response services, medical, in case of emergency, because it's water sports.
Right. But even last year, when there were 2 major incidents that took place out on the reef, I remember there was the incident where there was an altercation on one of the boats with a guy who was wielding a cutlass. And then there was the one where a boat was overloaded and was sinking within the Pigeon Point Park. And there was that Marine Park committee that was put in place to look at what was happening out there, make their recommendations, and enforce some of the policies. So I don't think it is to say that there isn't persons who are there sitting and talking about it and making recommendations. But even from the public perspective, we as members of the public, we want to see implementation. And we've sat and we've spoken about it for so long. We've heard some of the best ideas come to the forefront, some of the greatest minds, but we want to see implementation. We want to see enforcement.
Correct, and you're correct. And as you know, we are 90-day wonder. So after, you know, everything gonna die down and everybody gonna go back to the regular. It reminds me of this story when the operators and them, they used to have them, there was a booth that they created for them to sell the tickets at. It went on for a couple of weeks, and then suddenly a guy said, well, I ain't getting much sale, huh? Let me go to in front, I gonna catch the tourists and then before they come in. And then one started toot outside and then the next one, and so forth, and the whole thing just fall apart until it becomes really uncontrollable.
Right.
So again, put in policies without enforcement, without policing it, the same policy monitoring and evaluating the policy, then you really don't have anything.
Right, and honestly, when we think about the boat tour operators on the reef, my perspective of how it can work effectively is to remove the boat tour operators from ticket sales completely outside of their own website where they can do the bookings and stuff like that. Because when I look at how it's done globally, you have one central ticketing area where, let's say for instance, the Tobago facility has hired someone to work in that booth, and you come in, you see all the tour times, just like you go to a movie. It's as if, you know, when you go to the cinema, you have all the producers of each movie, they're selling their own movie, but you have a box office. And in that box office, you go, you see what time and you see what tours are available. There should be a description of each tour, what is offered, the different prices, or even a barcode or QR code where you can go online, you see different photos, you see the actual experience, you might see their social media pages, and you make your decision which tour you want to go on, and completely remove them from the ticket sales aspect of it. And this is how we see it working globally. So why can't we institute things like that?
And that's a good idea, that you have all of them into the group, and they will be all licensed, they will be all trained, and there will be that if I can pull your license, and you won't be able to operate if you're doing things contrary and so forth. And then you alert all the guests and visitors, do not go with somebody who is not a member
certified
of, right,
yes.
They probably have a sticker on them or something.
Correct.
So if you do go with somebody outside of that,
At
you
your
expose
own
a risk, and then you know that you will have injury, and you blame nobody but yourself.
Right. But the tour operators that you can find at the box office,
Yeah.
those are the ones who we support,
That's
who
right.
are certified, who are licensed,
That's
who
correct.
on a yearly basis, they are subjected to testing and training and stuff like that.
And that's correct. Because most of the jet skis, the owner is not the operator. And there are hustlers who are out there who want to hustle the jet ski, for you call it. And they're guys trying to make as much money as possible. Some of them will, in way of advertising the jet skis, by driving the jet ski across the ocean in a ridiculous manner, and it looks exciting to the younger ones. Oh, mommy, I want to go on that. Daddy, I want to go and take that. That looks exciting. And again, you know how jet ski operates, right? So it's important that these operators understand that, and the THA put things in place. Not a committee. I want them to form a department that have people working there doing these things.
Right.
Because committee tends to just fall apart. So we want the enforcement. So we want the policy to be written properly. We want the enforcement, and then we want the monitoring and evaluation going
Right,
forward.
but there does exist the Pigeon Point Board, and I know I heard conversations about changing the name of the Pigeon Point Board to a more broad approach to the marine parks and seas and areas, because really and truly the Pigeon Point Park is only one aspect of the offering as it pertains to the sun, sea and sand, and you know, some of the natural assets that the island has. But then the question lies, can one board truly oversee Buku, Story, Pigeon Point, Swallows, Mount Irving, or do we have to have an organization or a committee or a board that is focused on Tobago West, one is focused on Tobago East, probably one on the north side? We have to look at the structures that could be put in place to oversee, put that oversight under the level of enforcement.
Well, I look at within the office of the Chief Sec, I think there's a secretary there, Secretary Tate, that was given the responsibility for safety and security.
Right.
So within his division or his department, he could now have a structure to oversee that whole police, and working in conjunction with TEMA, working in conjunction with the Coast Guard, working in conjunction with the police, and that's where I see this whole thing building out from. And instead of we having scattered people all over trying to do the same thing and nothing has been done. So within that said office, I think Assemblyman Tate could really champion this thing going forward, and he sits with his crafters, his drafters, and the legal people and all, and we put the policies in place, and he meets with the various stakeholders, because there ought to be some buy-in from the stakeholders. You don't put policies to guide me and I have no say in the policy, because it might be too draconian. So you meet with the stakeholders, so you have an idea about input, and then you start to draw out your policies on them and your enforcement. If in order to do this, you must be that, and so forth. in any profession, even in my profession, the last couple of weeks I was doing continuous professional education. So in order to keep your license, so in order for me to keep my license and keep my credibility and designation, I have to go to training every year as a professional, every single year, to keep this going. And look, me as a professional doing it. So why the other folks on them who within the fields, and doctors do it, lawyers do it, all professional services, you have to continue having these CPE points that you have to be continue training and understanding the industry revolving and how you have to put yourself in a position to understand what's happening in the space. Because it's not just getting a qualification or getting a certification and you have that forever. It don't work like that. So the same thing with these guys with the jet skis and so forth. They must be able to bring these craft into some kind of inspection. They must be able to come and do some kind of recertification to ensure that you're capable of, because after years, you might, the operator or the owner or whoever is the one might not be able to operate it, as the case may be. So there must be some aspect of it going forward, and I treat with it as, and I think that's important that the Secretary Tate could look at that under his department. Excellent.
Well, we want to thank you so much for being here this morning with us, Mr. Williams. And thank you for giving us those perspectives, particularly as it pertains to what we can look forward to at the end of the year. You know, one of the biggest times, you know, before it used to just be Easter. Persons used to prepare for Easter on the island, and now we've diversified to have a number of offerings that persons can look forward to having that heightened influx of tourists on the island. Up next, ladies and gentlemen, we have Junior Noel, actor, and he's going to be with us very, very soon, talking about why I never left the church to play. We're coming up very soon. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll take a quick break right here, and we'll be back.
How it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show, and everybody's gonna know. Say it to them once again. They better look up below. This is your show, and everybody's gonna know. That's how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show.
The Caribbean is more than just a place. It's a spirit, resilient, vibrant, and full of possibility. It's who we are at the heart of everything we do. For over 150 years, we've been right here, invested in the Caribbean, its people and its progress. And today, we're going even further. We're deepening our commitment to the region, continuing to invest in the networks, services and digital solutions that move Caribbean businesses forward. Whether you are a mid-sized business or multinational player, we bring you resilient connectivity, personalized service, and tailored IT solutions, all powered by local teams that truly have your back. We're here to help you navigate challenges, grow, and achieve your goals with practical solutions, reliable networks, and a partnership rooted in trust and your long-term success. Liberty Business, rooted in the Caribbean, committed to you.
It's a brand new morning, rise up to a brand new dawning. As the passion start to rise, the energy fill the skies. I say thanks for favor to wake up and hear my neighbor. 60,000 people strong, and the vibes is never wrong. We are beauty, we are power, we are people in the sun. We are beaches, we are.
And gentlemen, just as promised, we're here and chatting in studio with Mr. Junior Noel, who is an actor and a part of what you have just seen on screen there, the play that's coming up, Why I Never Left the Church. Ladies and gentlemen, we have him here with us. Good morning.
Morning, Miss Felix, and to the wider public of Tobago, and by extension Trinidad. Thank you for the invite.
All right, and tell us firstly the ministry that you're representing and some of the work that you guys have been doing.
All right, so we are the Youth Foundation. It's the actual title of our foundation, but it's actually an acronym, Young and All Uniting Towards Heaven. And I don't know if you want to permit me just to at least share the vision. It's to build a harmonious and inclusive environment where people of all ages are discipled, fostering mutual support, understanding and growth as we collectively strive towards spiritual fulfillment and the shared goal of reaching heaven guided by God's word, the Bible.
All right, so is this an NGO, a
yes,
group?
Yes, it is an NGO.
Right.
It's a non-profit, and we would have been established officially in September, though we were within the year 2025, the beginning half of it. And in September, we got the organization registered. We had our first program done at the St. Vincent de Paul up at Mason Hall, the Home for the Aged. We would have come together, and what the organization presents is that we have a space where persons who have different experiences in terms of their talents or gifts are a part of the body. And one thing that would have surprised me at the first program that we had was that we did not really plan it in full. We just said we're going to get the hampers together. But when we entered the facility, I found persons pulling out there. Actually, we did discuss it, but I actually wanted to see it in its entirety. They pull out their barbering machines. Some persons went straight to combing hair. So when I thought it would have just been, we go and sing a few songs and pray with the people and then we would leave, we found the experience rather fulfilling, and we would have even seen some of the young person showing what their niche will be.
Right.
Apart from that, we tend to reach towards the youth in terms of the school. We want to enter into the school system in terms of supporting with the homework reading club. And the idea basically, as we are ministering to the persons, is that whatever proceeds and these different things that we acquire, it's towards doing the other particular project that is upcoming.
Right, your outreach initiatives.
Correct.
All right, so this is happening on Sunday, April the 26th.
Oh, yes.
Tell us a bit about what persons can expect when they attend the play.
All right, so folks, trust me. I will say this now and I might say it down in the end, but Movie Tongue has closed down, but you can come to Tongue to get a real life experience movie, or I should say play, high drama, comedy, and the focus and the attention in terms of the reversal that is going to take place, that full turnaround. There's going to be a little bit of plot twist in between. But I am telling you, if you want to have an experience where you can see what a youth might go through within the church space, or sometimes, I don't want to get the word politics there, but you know, there's politics in everything, as it may be. Transparency and that high drama as it may be. And there's also some heightened parts where there are going to be some emotional appeals and addresses that might be taking place, is one that you cannot afford to miss. If you're a young person and you are thinking to yourself, life is hard, trust me, coming to this play is going to give you an experience where you can know how you can weather any storm as it may come.
Right. And tell us a bit about the logistics now. This is happening at the Scarborough Library on the 26th. Yes. Tell us about the time, where persons can get the tickets, how much the tickets cost.
All right. So there's no box office or anything as the sort where we'd have leave tickets at, but there's a possibility that may happen a little. Actually, I can't even say later on because it's just about a week again or two, or a week and a little bit. But myself, if you see me anywhere, please stop me. And there are some numbers that you're going to see attached to our flyer and promo video. You can call these persons and they would be able to assign you with the tickets as well. I will also add my telephone contact, which is 729-0429, which can be towards the play, or it can also be towards any other part in terms of joining the foundation as well. All right, so be sure the tickets are on sale, and because the auditorium is a small space, we have 2 shows, 3 p.m. and 1 at 6 p.m. The cost, it's $100 for the adults and $75 for, as you see, the secondary school students.
Right, and I see that there's a discounted price. Is it any secondary school, once you are in school, you just walk with your badge and you pay a lower price? Tell us about it.
Yes, well, we are hoping that persons will be honest as to where the age bracket is, but we are not hard and fast where, okay, we know what a secondary school student, I don't want to say what the secondary school looks like as the case may be, but the idea is that because we are going to be meeting on with the schools, and we would have already contacted a good bit of the schools, they would be, it will be understandable that those sales will be done at the school.
Okay.
But coming on the day, we would work within the age bracket of what a secondary school student would normally be before they would have entered into the workforce, as the case may be.
Tell us about what persons can expect in terms of the themes that might be coming out from this play, and why is it important for them to come out and support the initiative?
All right, so there's faith and fortitude. Mind you, there's a lot of alliterations with F. I just was home there and it just started to come like that. There's fame and fortune. You'll also have friend, family, fellowship. But I don't know why I'm putting this one with it, but you'll also have 4. And you're going to see all those things coming to play. And what would have shocked me within, I'm on the scene, I'm on the stage. But what shocked me with it is some of the turnarounds that is going to actually take place, including for myself. Don't want to jump ahead. I want you to come to see it. So it's going to be very, very interesting.
And so remind our audience, time, date, location.
All right, so it's at the Ann Mitchell Auditorium at The time?
The Scarborough Library.
The Scarborough Library. Yes, let me just say it like that, yes, because I think we had a little debate with that over the chat. Just the Scarborough Library, they will come. Right? So it's at the Scarborough Library from 3 p.m. to 3 p.m. Sorry, is the first show, and the second show is 6 p.m. It's on Sunday, the 26th of April. Be sure you have 2 more Sundays. Sunday coming is the 19th, and the next Sunday it's the event. So be sure, if you are traveling from Trinidad and you are not going down until Monday and you want to do something when the evening come to this play. You are sure to have, I don't want to say thrill, but a sort of appeal that says to you, something good is happening.
Right.
Not just in the Tobago space, but with our young people, as we can help them to grow, knowing that there are actual experiences that you can actually see come to life.
Understood. Well, again, we want to thank you so much for being here from the Youth Foundation. Is there anything that you want to say to our viewers online, looking on, as we wrap up our discussion this morning?
Thank you, Ms. Felix. So it has been my experience over the years that sometimes you find yourself in a space where you are alone. This Youth Foundation brings you, not just because there was a lot of shy persons within our foundation, and now they are very much outspoken, as you will see, even on the stage. But I want to let you know that God is indeed interested in you. He loves you. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. But to add to even more of what we are here to support you in your niche and support you in the development of your spiritual growth as we go towards heaven. So be blessed, come out and support. And I want to let you know the foundation is a space and a place for you.
Excellent, Mr. Junior Newell. Again, we want to thank you so much
you,
for being here on Tobago Updates this morning with us and telling us all about the play that's coming up on the 26th of April at 3 p.m. at the Scarborough Library. Why I didn't leave the church, right?
Yes, why I never left
the church. I want to make sure I got it right. Then is there anything that you want to say before we...
Oh, just quickly, be sure there are some upcoming events. There's a camp coming up in the July-August period. And I know you will invite us back because that's going to be an exciting camp coming up. There's also an art expo. Save the dates. Don't travel on November the 8th and the 9th down at the Lowlands Auditorium, that multi-purpose auditorium. And there is a men's forum. I don't want to call it man cave, but there's a men's forum that is happening in October. Just because of some logistics, it did not happen in the time for Father's Day. But be sure, come out to that men's forum and you will have the experience where you can build not just your individual self as a man, but to be that family man that the society needs. So these are the upcoming events. And a little birdie share that we're going to be having another production coming up at the end of the year. So be sure the foundation is going to try its very best annually to at least have 2 productions coming up. So thank you, Ms. Lewis, for the extra.
No problem.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank you so much for being a part of this morning's discussions. We want to thank you for your likes, your shares, and your comments, and all that you have been doing and continue to do to make Tobago Updates the #1 broadcaster here on the island of Tobago. Again, I am your host, Chanel Felix, and have a great day.
It's a brand new morning, rise up to a brand new dawning as the passion start to rise. The energy fill the skies. I say thanks for favor to wake up and hear me neighbor. 60,000 people